Crazy old woman marries a younger man.
Grandma's porch, a place to relax, a place to enjoy. Come visit Grandma's porch.
Crazy old woman gets a younger man. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I just talked about old women and brassiers. I've talked about old women and smoking. I've talked about old women drivers. I've talked about old women in pantyhose. So now this story is called Crazy Old Woman Gets a Younger Man. Well, many of these stories come from my childhood, okay, because I was around a colorful cast of characters growing up. I have to tell you, they were something. And so we had this family friend, kind of a more of a distant family friend that had been a friend of my mama's growing up. And so this woman, she was well into her late 70s or maybe early 80s. And she was a bit overweight and she was a bit wrinkled, to say the least. And her husband had passed away. And so she was lonely. So she would get to drinking a little bit too much at night. And so one day she got into the catalog, because back then they had catalogs and they didn't have internet. And she ordered herself a bunch of wigs. And most of them were, well, they were styles for younger women, like real long blonde haired wigs. And she ordered all these wigs. I think one was red and one was blonde and one was brown and one was, just all different colors and all different styles. And so one night she got all dressed up. Even though she was a bit overweight, she put a short skirt on and I think a kind of a lower kind of top, if you know what I mean. And she put her long blonde wig on. Well, she called a taxi, and she lived out in the country up on a hill way in the back. And the taxi went up that old winding road and picked her up and took her back down that old winding road. And he took her into kind of a main town that was nearby, not the little kind of town that was close by, but a town a little bit further out. And so she went to this bar, this honky tonk, as they called them. Well, she went quite a few nights, I think, quite a few nights. And then one night, and I think she was wearing the blonde wig, the long blonde wig, she was sitting on that bar stool, and in comes a younger man, probably by about 10 years from what she was. He was probably 70, and she was probably actually in her 80s. And he came in, and she was smoking her cigarette, just smoking her cigarette on that bar stool, having her drink. I think it was a martini. And so she's sitting on that bar stool and he sits down. Well, it was love at first sight. Need I say, they both went back in the taxi, back to her place. Back to her place. I mean, unbelievable. Her in her blonde wig, about 80 years old or thereabouts, with this younger man. He turned out to be a retired doctor. Can you believe it? A retired doctor she met in a honky tonk. Well, fast forward a couple months, they got married. Actually, it wasn't even a couple months. I think it was like a week. And they got married. They got married. And I have to tell you, from my understanding, from the stories that have been told to me, she wore him out. She would go to bed at night. She'd take off like her blonde wig and set it on a wig head stand next to her bed. And she'd put a red-haired wig on. And then the next morning she'd wake up and put a dark-haired wig on. She had all kinds of wigs, and she put those wigs on, and she kept that man happy. I believe she outlived him also. I believe she did. I think she just wore him out. So that is the story, the true story of the old lady that I knew, the crazy old woman who married a younger man. You know, I believe in younger men and older women, or older men and younger women, whatever happens to work that's right for the people's lives. From my house to yours, may God bless you. Keep your sense of humor. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and shout out my channel. And I hope you all come back soon again. From my house to yours, may God bless you. From Grandma's porch to yours, to wherever you're at. I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye.
Grandma's porch, a place to relax.